Good morning everyone, it's Kathy Champion and I am your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Gastonia, North Carolina. Welcome to my channel, and if this is your first time coming by to see what I do, and if you like what I do, please hit that subscribe button, and if you ring the bell, you will be notified every time I put up a new video. So it's a good way for us to stay in touch with each other, and I would love to have you to be part of my crafty family. So I want to let you know that this is our host code for November. It will be right here throughout the video, but it will also be in the description and on my blog. So go and take a look there as well. What I have done is I did this card last week and I thought it was so stunning. I was just in here playing and I thought I need to bring this to my channel and I need to show y'all how I did this, because I thought, oh, look at that silver. Isn't it gorgeous? And there's my inside. I thought it turned out really, really cute. So I showed that one in the next video that I did. And I did it in this beautiful Highland Heather. And this is the Feels Like Frost paper, designer series paper. And the Merry Christmas from the Poinsettia stamp set. So, and on the inside of this one, I did it a little bit different, but isn't it pretty? So, I put that video up, and then I had people telling me there was nothing there. And I went and checked, and sure enough, it was black, nothing played, and I was like, oh my goodness. Well, since I had put this up and had been up for a while, I deleted my video, because I try to keep space freed up on my computer. Videos take up a lot of room. So I didn't have it. So guess what? I'm redoing this video. I'm going to make the same card, just with a little bit different spin. Alright, so here we go. I've already pre-cut and stamped a lot of my pieces to make this fast. This is a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock, and it is it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4, not 4 1/4, but 4. And it's going to give you just a tiny bit of a border down here at the bottom, and that's what I wanted. Then I used the Poinsettia Petals designer paper, and I chose this piece right here because I thought it would really accent my cherry cobbler poinsettia. And I took a piece of cherry cobbler and I used VersaMark ink, and I stamped my poinsettias on the cherry cobbler and embossed it, heat embossed it with gold embossing powder. Isn't that gorgeous? And I did all 3 pieces, so it's a 3-part poinsettia, and we are going to offset our petals so that we get a nice full poinsettia. And we're going to glue those together in just a minute. I also cut 3 leaves out of gold. I did 1 small and 2 large, like this. And then I also cut 4 of the tiny poinsettias, and I used the Poinsettia Petals. Let me show you the stamp set that I used. Maybe I still have it over here. I do. So this is the stamp set that I used, and I love the Stampin' Die set. It is just absolutely wonderful. And it comes with dies, and I would advise you to get the dies. They are so worth it, because you can use the dies by themselves, and I'll show you that. I have this poinsettia that I did on one of my other cards, and this was like my trial piece, and I did that with the velvet paper. But see how the dies emboss? So even you don't have to stamp. The only reason I stamped these is I wanted that gold, just like I had the silver on these cards. I wanted the gold on this other card. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that, both of those. So I love, love, love the stamp set and die set. It's going to be my favorite for years to come. Such a beautiful poinsettia. So I did 4 of these little poinsettias in cherry cobbler, and I didn't do anything but die cut these, and they're also embossed because, like I said, do you see the embossing? Beautiful. And I did them in the gold as well. So there's my gold ones. I got one more somewhere. Also cut a 1/4 inch strip. So this measures 1/4 by 5 and 3/8. So 5 3/8 by 1/4, and that's going to be nested right down here on that little space that we have. And I think that's going to be gorgeous right there. Alright, and I cut several of these little sprigs out in the gold foil paper. And I gotta find that other poinsettia. It's probably right here. It might be under my computer. Things have a tendency to get scooted under there. Oh, here it is. There we go. So what I have is I have a gold and a cherry cobbler for each one of these, and we're going to put those together and offset them. I have some more sprigs. I cut quite a few of these. Some of them I cut apart, so I have little pieces. And now we can go ahead and assemble our card. So before we start, I'm going to work with this piece on how I want my poinsettia. But before I do that, I need to work with my poinsettia. So I'm going to move all of my pieces up here. And I'm going to keep them, you know, kind of together, but I'm just going to move them out of my way. I also cut one sprig out of the cherry cobbler that I want to use on the inside. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to lay that up there, and also all of my little poinsettias. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to put this poinsettia together, and I'm going to use dimensionals. Now I'm going to use the minis to actually put my pieces together. So I'm going to turn the middle one over. Let me get up here where y'all can see what I'm doing. And I am going to take one of these minis, oops, and I'm going to stick it right in the center of that. I'm going to go ahead and take the backer off. And then I want to sit it down so that the leaves are offset. See what I mean? Once you feel like you got it where you want it, then stick it down. Isn't that cool? And how I got these leaves, I just took my bone folder and curled the leaves down and then mashed down in the center, and it really gives the poinsettia the dimension that you like. So let's get another mini glue dot, and we're going to do the same thing with the little one. And we're going to offset this one as well. Just like that. And then I'm going to use a bigger glue dot for the bottom. I'm going to put this one right there. Okay, so now we need to decide if we want this on the right or the left. And I think I want it on the left. Yeah, I think I want it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your pick tool. I have that out already. There it is. I'm going to take my backer off. And then I'm going to decide where I want this. And I know I want to leave myself room to be able to decorate around it and also for my sentiment. So I think right about there is good. So I'm going to just press that down nice and tight. And see how it's lifted so it gives such a nice dimension. See how that is? Beautiful. I love it on this paper. So the next thing we want to do is decide how we're going to do our little poinsettias. Now for these I'm going to just use a spot of glue. So I'm going to take my liquid glue and just put a dab, just a dot, right in the center. And then I'm going to lay this down on it and just let that tack. And I'm going to go ahead and do this for all of my poinsettias. Those are so much fun. So while those are drying, let's go ahead and put our leaves on. I think I want one leaf up here. So let's go ahead and put that one down. And the leaves are made so easy to figure out which way they go. The piece that has the sharper and longer point on it goes to the flower. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue under there. And I'm going to put that one down right there and just mash it to get it to stick. And then I'm going to do the other larger one, maybe right. And you want to play with this and decide where you want your leaves. I think right there. And then I'm going to put one more right here. Now I'm very pleased with that. So now I can arrange these poinsettias, the small ones, around here where I want them. And I think I'm going to do these on a mini glue dot. Maybe 2 on a glue dot and 1 flat. I think that would be attractive. And then we're going to put 1 straight down. So this one I think I'm going to glue straight down. Let's see how we want to lay these out first. I want 1 here, and 1 here, and maybe this one here. Yeah, because I want to save a space here for Merry Christmas. Okay, so let's take the backer off of this one. It here, put a little liquid glue right here, and stick it down, and then take the backer off of this one and stick that one down. Now we still have, I'm saving this one for the inside, and these sprigs right here for the inside. Now we need to decide where we want our little sprigs to go. And I want them to be just sporadically sticking out here and there. So I think this one, I'm just going to trim him down a little bit. I think this one would be really cute, tucked back in here. Just like that. So again, I'm going to put glue right here on that bottom edge. And just get that tucked underneath there, just like that. So you have just a little bit of that gold sticking out. And I'm going to put glue on the back of this one. And I want this to be kind of right here. And then I want another piece up here, maybe right about there. I'm going to trim this because this was one of the pieces that I cut just a half of, and so it does need a little bit of trimming. And it doesn't matter because nobody's going to see that part. They're just going to see what's sticking out. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And we still have some other little sprigs. So let's put one right there. I think the fuller you make your card, the more rich it looks. That looks pretty right there. And I have another little sprig right here. That's why you want to cut enough of these so that you can cut them apart and make them work for you. And that goes right there. And I think I'm done with the front, other than putting the pearls on here and our little piece for the middle. And let me show you how I'm going to decorate those. I'm going to take your pick tool, and I want to use these medium ones right here. And all I'm going to do is just lay a pearl right in the middle of each one of these poinsettias. The little ones. This take your pick tool is so useful in your craft room. I reach for this over and over and over. So we have those done. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish off the center. In our catalog, you will find these beaded pearls that comes with the Poinsettia suite, or you can buy them separate. And look at these. They're gorgeous. And the best way to put those on with is glue dots. So I'm going to grab my glue dots, and I'm going to peel back. I'm probably going to put 2 on the back of this because I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to pull my glue dot off and stick it on like so. And then get my second one and stick it on like so. That way I think I've got more glue on my piece. And then I'm just going to set this down just like that and give it a good push. Ah, the crowning touch, don't you think? Isn't that pretty? I love it on this paper. I think it just really brings everything together. So now what we need to do is adhere this to our card base. And like I told you, this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4. And this is going to be a landscape card. So this is going to go on here just like that. So I'm going to use some liquid glue. When you're using liquid glue, be very sparing. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. And we're going to lay this down like that. Make sure we get it as straight as we can. And then I got glue on my mat, but that's okay. Alright. And there's the front of our card. All we got to do now is do a Merry Christmas, and we'll be all done with the front. Then we'll work on the inside. But before we do that, I want to put this piece right here. I think this will give a nice little finish to the bottom of our card. And I'm going to put this on glue. And we just want this to just kind of frame in between that. Now if you get liquid glue on your foil, you know it looks ugly, but you can take a alcohol wipe, even put a little alcohol on your a little microfiber cloth, or what I do is I take wipes like this. These were just from Walmart, and I pour about a cup of alcohol in and make my own alcohol wipes. These are so good for cleaning up ink. They clean up glue. I clean my tools with them, and they also work wonderful when I need to clean up some glue off of foil. It takes the glue right off, brings it back to a beautiful luster, and nobody has to know that you got glue on it. I also wiped my fingers. Another good thing, because we are living in coronavirus days, it sanitizes things, so that's always a good thing. Alright, so now for the inside of our card, we're going to need to cut a piece that is, I think, 4 inches, 4 to there, so we're going to do 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I think I'm going to do Very Vanilla. There's a piece of Very Vanilla. I think this will just pair better than using a stark white because of the front, so that's why I chose that. Another thing that I love about Stampin' Up! Is how everything will coordinate with each other. So it takes the guessing game out of color matching. How many times have you gone through your paper and you find a pattern paper you love, and then you cannot find a solid to go with it? So frustrating. You never have that problem with Stampin' Up! Because the colors coordinate beautifully. So 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to put this down in the middle. But before we do that, we want to decorate. So in this corner right here, I want to use some of these sprigs, so I'm going to cut a few of these off. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is I want these to kind of frame around. Let's put the poinsettia down first, and I'm going to do this with just glue. I don't need any more dimension on the inside, so I want to kind of keep everything flat on the inside. A little bit of liquid glue right there, and then we'll put that right there in that corner. I love decorating the inside of my cards. I think it adds so much to the card. I'm going to stick that, tuck that right there under there, and that glue caught that. Then we're going to take this one, and this one's going to go right here. And maybe this one right here I want to come out from the bottom, because it's tiny. just like that. And maybe this one right here. All you want to do is just work around the poinsettia. Go eat your food. Go eat. Go eat your food. My puppies are not eating their food this morning and they want a treat and I'm not giving them one. I also want to let y'all know that I have my granddaughter here for the week. So if my videos become very sparse, it's really hard to video with a 4-year-old. And I cannot tell you, it has been many years since I've ran behind a 4-year-old. I don't get the opportunity to do this very often because they live 5 hours away. And this is my first time having her. But she loves me very much because we FaceTime video chat every day. So that technology has made mine and her relationship very, very special. And I love it. Alright, I think I got that all done. I don't need this piece. So I want to put a pearl in there. That's going to be the only dimension that we're going to have on this one. So I'm going to use this medium, just like I did before. And just put that little pearl right there. Now we need to stamp our sentiment on the inside, and we also need to figure out how we're going to put the Merry Christmas on the outside. Alright, I did find the stamp set that I want to use, and this comes from the Itty Bitty Christmas, and I love the one, I love Christmas Cheer, but I also love Blessed Christmas Wishes. And look at the Happy Christmas. I love that one too. I may use that one. I think the Happy Christmas will fit on here really well. So let's see. Yeah, that will fit really good there. And what I want to do is I want to stamp it out of this Very Vanilla. So I'm going to cut me off a piece about, let's see, about 3/4 of an inch, maybe. Yeah, about 3/4 of an inch. I think I'll do it. So let's bring our trimmer up. And I'm going to put it in about to here. That split blade out of the way and just cut that down. And I also want to cut a piece of the gold, and I want this to be 1 inch. And this piece is right at 1 inch. So I think I'm going to leave it the length that it is. I don't know. Another trick I want to show you, if you're cutting a piece that's too narrow and you need an extra hand, take one of these little post-it note flags and line up your piece where you want it. I think I'm going to cut this side off because that's got a wrinkle in the bottom. I'm going to go just about 7/8 of an inch. And this will help you hold it in your trimmer. It just gives you another little hand, and how neat is that? And then these just pull right off. No damage to your paper. I think it works great. So what I want to do is I want to frame this on the gold if I can have room to make that work, and I think I can. So let's go ahead and stamp our Happy Christmas first, and we're going to stamp this right about here, and I'm going to stamp it in the Cherry Cobbler. Alright, sorry about that, but we did get this stamped, and if you notice I stamped it up a little high. So what I'm going to do is I am going to trim this down just by a little bit, and I'm going to use that same trick. I'm going to give myself a little handle here to hold on to this, and I think we're only going to need to trim it by just a small amount, maybe. I go a quarter of an inch is going to be too much. Maybe an 1/8 of an inch. Yep. So this piece ends up being .3/8, and we're going to cut this down to 1 3/4. Okay. So now we need to take about 1/4 of an inch off of this piece. Works out really good now, and we know that this piece needs to be 2 inches. And now we can glue this on here just like that. Actually, I think I'm going to trim this down a little bit because I've got a bend in there for some reason. So I'm just going to take my snips because this is easy enough. If you notice, I just want a tiny bit of that gold showing. And that looks pretty good. So I am going to move my trimmer. Get my press and seal. I'm just going to put a small piece on here, and I want to be careful when I lay this down because we know that I'm not going to have any wiggle room. And that's very pretty. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the back here. And I need to decide if I want this to go here or here or here. I think I want it right here. So I want to make sure it's good and even. The last thing you want to do is put a piece down and it be crooked, especially on the front of your card. There. How pretty is that? I love it. So now we need to stamp a sentiment on this, and for this one I am going to get the Poinsettia stamp set. Actually, I'm not. I want to use something different on the inside. I'm going to grab this. I just got a new one. I love this stamp set. It's nice big sentiments. Let's see if one will fit on this card. Oh, I love that. We're going to use that one. It will fit. It gives a small space for signature, but that's okay. this card is gorgeous. So I'm gonna get a block to put that on. And we're going to get it nice and even on my grid. And I'm going to get my little mat, my Stampin' Pierce mat. And let's move our card out of our way just for a moment. And I want that cherry cobbler, so we're carrying through with that same color. And I'm going to ink it up. Looks beautiful. And I want it to be more over in this side. And I'm going up high so we'll have room for signatures. Oh, so pretty. That is beautiful. I'm going to let that ink dry for just a minute while I clean my stamp block. I think to clean it I'm going to bring out my Stampin' Scrub. And remember, I've told y'all about this. This thing is wonderful. It's nice and wide. You have one side for cleaning and one for drying. And when I put stamp cleaner down on here, I use it until I need to wash this, and I just reactivate it with a little spray of water. This is just a bottle with some water in it, and it works beautifully. Now, this is a high pigment ink, so it's going to stain the stamp, but it is not going to, this cleaner is going to get all of the ink off. No ink left, none whatsoever. Love this tool. One of the best stamp cleaning tools that I have ever used. I've used a few. Okay, let's put this back up. What did I do with, oh, I laid it over here. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of this. And if you ever get it hanging over the edge, like I just did, just take your fingers and roll it back. And now I want to make sure that I get this card just where I want it. Just like that. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. I think it turned out gorgeous. And here is, using the same technique, there's 3 different beautiful cards that you can make by using the Poinsettia Petals. The only thing different with this one is I used the Feel Like Frost paper. This one, the only thing that was different was I used the Poinsettia Petals paper, and I used the Christmas Means More stamp set for my sentiment, and also for my, no, Itty Bitty stamp set, Christmas Means More. And this one, I used the just Night of Navy, Pool Party, Silver Foil, and I used the Merry Christmas from the Paper Pumpkin for October. And inside, I think this came from warm and toasty, I think. Nope. Freezing fine, maybe? Nope. I know it came from one of these. But I loved everything about this. I loved the way they all turned out. They're different. Not one of these cards look quite the same, but yet they're all made using the same product. And I could not be happier with the way they all three turned out. So if you love poinsettias, if they're your jam during the holidays, you will definitely love the stamp set and the dies that go with it. The coordinating dies is always a must. If you purchase that now, you can bundle it and save 10%, which who doesn't love to save money? I know I do. Of course, my husband says you're not saving if you're spending, but that's a man's mentality, I think. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I want to apologize for this card not being up when I thought it was, and then I had a friend to call me and said it wasn't working. So, and I had some other comments, but I since then took this video completely down, and it's going to be replaced with this one. So thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you all of my faithful subscribers that tune in to me on a regular basis. I love you so much. If you are not, I invite you to please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and you can choose how you receive notifications. That way you'll know every time I upload a video, you'll get a notification either on your phone, your tablet, or your laptop or computer, whatever you happen to be using. But I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is our month for being thankful, and I am so thankful that I have the opportunity to come to all of you through this media, and I wish everyone the happiest of holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and let's pray that 2021 will be much better than 2020. And until we are together again and we craft, may God richly bless you and keep you in His protection. And remember, as I say in every closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. I love you all. Bye-bye.